Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to yet another amazing day. It is Deepavali, it is Diwali, it is the Festival of Light, and nothing to do with that. But today we're going to talk about hiring cheap people, and why this is a problem for startups. Okay, let's bring it back to Diwali. When you have a startup, you want to glow. You want to be a bright light in the sky. You want to lead. Yeah. And if you're hiring dim, I'm not stupid, but people who don't glow really, really brightly, it's going to be really hard for you to shine. Okay, I guess with that, I can probably just shut up because that is the whole of today's message. But let's unpack it. Let's go a little bit deeper. People shine. Let me give you a few examples. A few years ago, I did one startup, and it was in the age, about 10 years ago now. So I had a choice of using Amazon Mechanical Turk, but that didn't really work. So I ended up and I hired a bunch of interns and school leavers and just chucked them at the problem. None of them cared, none of them gave a shit, they were cheap. But the quality of the stuff that they gave me was just so appalling that the vast majority of it was unusable. So that was one of the reasons why that business failed. Worked last year with another company. So their idea was, okay, they'd hired me, who was expensive. Oops, I got an unstable. So they hired me, who was expensive, and they hired a bunch of really, really cheap people. And this just did not work because the people who were cheap just took so long to mistakes that they needed to make to learn. 4, correct the mistakes that they made on the way to learning, and 5, make an impact. So they kept on going down and down and down and never really managed to get the traction. And my skill was really not used incredibly wisely, because I was constantly coaching and mentoring, teaching people the basics that they should have known before they came. So I was just being a glorified overpriced teacher, for them, which wasn't a great use of resources. So often you need to hire somebody who is not the cheapest. And I was talking to somebody about this on LinkedIn the other day, and he was saying, okay, Dennis, what a lot of time the people do is they think, okay, price is the metric. They're not then able to measure the quality of what they do, the reliability of what they do, the effectiveness of what they do. And as a startup with a limited runway, you're facing this trade-off of, I've got to conserve my cash to make my runway as long as possible. However, I need to get off the ground as quickly as possible. Which is more important, getting off the ground, not running out of runway? Well, obviously, the goal is to get your plane into the air. So you want to get off the runway as quickly as possible. Having a longer runway doesn't help if your airplane is still going trundling along at taxiing speed, and then however long the end runway is, at the end of it, it's just going to go off the end and just not go anywhere. So this is something that you need to be really, really careful about. I found when doing consulting, there is absolutely zero margin in hiring cheap, bad people, or generally price is an indication of the quality that you're going to get. It's always been better to hire very, very skilled, very, very competent people, and then let them get on and do the job. So this is the core message today. So how do you decide? How do you decide who you want to hire? When do you hire? Often, let me just have my tea before it goes cold. Right. So Rand Fishkin, who knows a little bit about SEO, have a look at him. He was writing about this fairly recently, and what he was saying, and I think this makes sense, is it's really expensive to hire and manage a team. Yeah, you've got the salaries with all the risks that involves. It's often a lot better to go out and hire people, very skilled people, to do the stuff that either you don't want to do or the stuff that you can't do. So, for example, I hire branding specialists, I hire graphics specialists to do the things that I'm just not interested in. I also hire some people to do Excel. I love doing Excel, but I'm not desperately quick at it because I don't do it every day. So there's always that little bit of rustiness. So I need to get up to speed quickly. This is who I hire. That then makes my journey faster and quicker. Hiring good people, and basically what I often do is figure out, okay, what is the cost? Put a number on a column of 1 to 10. Then what is the quality? Again, column 1 to 10. And what is the effectiveness or likely impact? Again, a score of 1 to 10. And basically 10s are better, one's worse. Then list out all the options and then multiply them all together. So you'll get a worst case 1 times 1 times 1. Best case 10 times 10 times 10, 1,000. And this should create a nice spread. And then you're able to choose what is the best way to go. Let me give you another example. So at the moment, I'm working for a startup, and I've got a data science team working for me. Great, isn't that wonderful? Except they're all straight out of university, so they know how to do data science, but they've got no idea about business. So I'm able to say they're able to analyze pretty much everything, create loads of visualization. But if I say, okay, I want you to sit down to do CAC, customer acquisition costs for this, or show me the lifetime value, or even something as simple as figure out the churn, there's a lot of insight, there's a lot of thought that has to be put in to be figuring out, okay, what are the right metrics? So they go into Metabase, they go into the database, and to try and find the right thing, and they're choosing the wrong fields to analyze. They're looking at the wrong things. They don't understand what the numbers mean with reflection to the business. And now, this is when it comes down to cost. Do you want somebody like that, who has got no idea what they're doing, and so is going to drag you down, or do you want somebody good? And now, actually, this is something that is worthwhile mentioning. Growth Mentor. I'm a guy at Growth Mentor. Now, Growth Mentor takes, I think it's FOTI says that the top 3 or top 5% of all consultants and freelancers working in the growth space. And what happens is you can sign up. It's $50, $60 a month, and you can have as many calls as you want with real experts in the field. Yeah, I know a shed load about business model innovation, creating business models for startups, getting them to work. Other people know more than I will ever know about pay-per-click or SEO or other everything else that you need to know for growth. And so something like this, it's a no-brainer. Pay $50 a month, and literally, if you talk to 5 people, I mean, most of us charge consulting rates of $200, $300, $500 an hour, right? But you're getting this for $50, $60 a month. So it's a huge saving, and it's a huge boost up into your business. So this is a huge alternative for looking at the for getting the quality talent into your startup early. And this is one thing that I see. Startups that have no hope hire cheap people. Startups that are going to go somewhere get great people on board. They get amazing people. They do not compromise on quality. Yeah, they just have to be a little bit smarter to figure out how to get them on board. And this is come back to pitching and all the things that you need to do to sell your vision to people. So that's it for today. My name is Denis Oakley. As you know, I do business model innovation. I help startups crystallize their ideas, get clarity, and build them into business models that succeed and help them outperform and kill the competition. Well, not quite that far, but that is the goal, to get you floating in a blue ocean where you have the time of your life drinking pina coladas and growing market share. Speak to you soon. Oh, and don't forget, press subscribe.